Leadership style needs to be geared to work during bad times as well as it works during good times. I spent 10 years of my business life searching for what I felt would be the perfect definition of leadership. I actually heard it, I guess about 5 years ago, and it was actually from a failed leader, Napoleon. But I think he had it right. Napoleon once famously said that a leader's role is to define reality and give hope. Now think about that for a minute. At the end of the day, what Napoleon's saying is that as leaders, whether we lead a small fighting force or lead an entire bank, our job is to get the balancing act right. Define reality, give hope. One of the best barometers of how happy your customers are is the mood state at work. Dr. Daniel Goleman wrote a fantastic follow-up book. I recommend anyone in this audience to read the book. It's called Primal Leadership. Primal Leadership was a study of about 6,000 corporations, many of them in financial services, and what it looked at was ways to predict cash flow going down and customer loyalty dropping at the same time. And here's what he said: the number one factor that influences a loss of customer loyalty and future cash flow is a negative mood state at work. He said, if that employee shows up every day with a pit in their stomach instead of the song in their heart, look ahead 3 to 5 years and you're in trouble. And the reason's simple. It drives down human engagement, which is the heart and soul of customer experience. When an employee is doing time waiting for things to get better, the customer feels it. But what you've got to remember is culture is whatever you define it as. It's the way things are done at the bank, and you create it, and you create it starting today. Because if we practice diet and exercise for the paradigm, you come back before the market does. And if you look historically, Great Depression, 70s, early 80s, and look at everyone who really did well over the next 5 years, they all had two things in common. They had the courage to hit the reset button at the bottom and innovate and try a bunch of different stuff, and they had a much better attitude than the market or the media. So that's leadership style. Define reality, give hope.